6 mindset shifts that help me homeschool with confidence. And yes, they can help you too. Hi, my name is Cheryl, and I am host of the Homeschool How-To podcast, but I never envisioned myself as a homeschooler. So 2 years ago, I kind of started to realize that the traditional school system was just not going to work for us. But I didn't know anything about homeschooling and really couldn't imagine myself whittling. So I started talking to homeschoolers everywhere I could find them, and eventually turned that into a podcast. And what I've learned after 2 years of interviewing homeschooling families, over 100 homeschooling families, I have left my government job and fully embraced the life of a homeschooler. What have I learned in the last 2 years? All right, these are the 6 mindset shifts that help me homeschool with confidence. First, you don't need a teaching degree to teach your child. Traditional teachers are overworked and underpaid. So yes, they might have that degree, but they are overworked and underpaid, and they're not actually able to utilize what they learned in school in real life. They're not learning how to deal with 30 kids in a classroom. Yes, sometimes their colleges give them student teaching and they're able to actually have a class themselves, but it doesn't give you every situation that you will ever be in. If you talk to teachers, you'll see that every year for them is different. So yes, they might have had 6 months or a year as a student teacher in the real world while they were in college, but in the real life, every year is going to be different. And no, they're not always equipped to handle what is thrown at them. Just because someone went to school for teaching, it does not mean that they know how to teach your specific child. Teachers manage classrooms of 20 to 30 kids with different needs, different learning styles. They can't offer one-on-one attention. It's just not possible. Even the best teachers are going to struggle here. The mindset shift that you need to keep in mind is that I can meet my child exactly where they're at intellectually, emotionally, and based on how they learn best. And you'll know exactly what interests them, which teachers, there's just no way that they can learn that with that many kids in a classroom. Okay, number 2, homeschooling doesn't need to be 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. In traditional school, kids spent a lot of time just waiting. You're waiting for the bus, you're waiting for class to start, you're waiting for the attendance to be taken, you're waiting for the transition between classes, you're waiting to line up, go to lunch, come back from lunch. It is such a waste of time. Schools teach to the middle. So you get the fast learners that get bored, and you get the kids that need more time, they feel left behind. So not only do you have this excessive waiting, but then you're not having anyone that's actually teaching to the level that your child is at. So your mindset shift here is going to be learning at home is efficient. Some things, they click quickly. Other things, your child is going to need you to pause and revisit. Maybe revisit in a month, maybe in 6 months. Maybe they just need you to go over it in a different way, or from your spouse. Maybe just hearing it from a different mouth will make sense to them. But you are able to provide that at home, and that is something that the educational system cannot provide. It's all about personalized pacing. All right, number 3, the education system was designed for obedience, not independent thinkers. Sorry, this is just the truth, and it is well documented. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to figure this one out. The modern school model was influenced by systems designed to create obedient workers and soldiers. It's inspired by the Prussian model, which, if you went to public school, that's the old Germany. The goal wasn't to foster critical thinking, it was to promote conformity. So our mindset shift here is that I don't want to raise someone who blindly follows systems. I want to raise a thinker, a questioner, and a problem solver, right? Number 4, the socialization myth is just that, a myth. If you lock your kid in a basement all day, they're not going to be socialized, okay? But if you reach out to the community, your child will be well socialized. How? How will they become socialized? It's the question that every homeschooler hears. The reality is that homeschoolers are busier than ever with local park meetups, co-ops, field trips, nature groups, game schools, sports leagues like soccer and baseball, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church activities, bike groups, and more. Kids in school today, they do their school sports, and then on top of that, they do a travel league in a lot of instances. Even though, like in my state of New York, My children cannot attend the school sports if they're not actually attending the school, even though I have to report their quarterly reports to the school. And I get the text from them every morning saying that school's closed because of the snow. Technically, and they collect my tax dollars, but technically they're not enrolled in the school. So they're not allowed to play sports with the school kids. But today's day and age, kids are all doing travel leagues. It's like the school sports are their practice for their real travel league. So homeschooled kids are more than welcome to try out for travel leagues. There's also different groups, like my son's involved in a bike group that meets different bike routes in the spring and in the fall. And he loves it. It's 6 weeks long, twice a week. He loves it. You don't have to go to school for that. And there are so many other things like this. So I get it. You probably don't realize it until you've looked for it. It's like red cars. Like, no, I never see red cars. And then like, oh, there's a red car. There's a red car. There's one. Oh yeah, one over there. So until you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. Once you look for it, you'll see them everywhere. So your mindset shift here is going to be that homeschoolers have rich, diverse social lives, often more meaningful than sitting in the same classroom with the same age group all year long. Number 5, the goal isn't college. It's lifelong learning. All right, this is a big one. We all think like, oh, what do you want for your child? Well, I want them to get into a good school. Well, why? Have you ever stopped to think why? Why do you want that? Do the kids that go to good schools end up happier in life? No. College is one path, but it's not the only path. And nowadays, I would say, don't go that path unless you really have to for the job that your child wants. And you know what? A little secret. Colleges love homeschoolers. But there are paths you can take, especially if you visit hslda.org, that will tell you exactly what you need to get your college transcript together and apply to colleges if that's what you really want. All right, if college is the goal, homeschoolers can absolutely get into colleges. But let's start thinking about what you want the lifelong goal to be for your child. Do you want them to be an entrepreneur? Do you want them to be a world traveler? Do you want them to be self-sufficient? You know, these are things that you should think about as soon as you start your decision to homeschool. Or honestly, if you have kids in school too, you should be thinking about these things and then tailoring what you educate them with outside of school to that. Just know that education is changing, and I don't think college is going to be the traditional path that students are taking in 5, 10, 20 years down the road. So your mindset shift here is that I am not raising a future college student. I am raising a lifelong learner who's curious, adaptable, and passionate, and happy in life. Number 6, life is more valuable than money. Our time is the most precious resource. Leaving my government job was so incredibly hard because I had to walk away from a 6-figure salary, and I never actually saw the 6-figure salary in my paycheck because I reached it just before leaving. It's okay. I'm over it. But it is hard to walk away from that. And the pension that I was, thinking I was gonna have for 16 years of my career, and then all of a sudden saying, no, I think I'm gonna choose something different. But listen, I have never regretted it. Money is man-made, and I had to really, really think about this long and hard. Money is man-made and it's fleeting. It's not backed by gold or silver anymore, and its value can change overnight. We spend so much time chasing money, but what really matters? I mean, the next brand new car you're gonna get, the time that we have with our kids, the relationships we build, and the memories we make are what really matters. I know I'm saying this as I'm like, go sit in front of the TV while I record this for YouTube. But listen, I get to say that to my kids who are home at 10:45 on a Friday morning, okay? If I were still stuck in the system, I would be in a cubicle right now in a dingy, nasty building in downtown Albany, pushing emails for things that don't even matter. And my kids would be sitting in class, wondering when they should raise their hand to go to the bathroom, or if they're going to get called on and, trying to cower so that the teacher doesn't ask them a question. That's no way to live. So later this afternoon, we're going to try roller skating for the first time back at where I used to go roller skating in middle school. So these are the fun things that, we can just do because we have the time. And yeah, we'll get around to reading some books today, maybe the Tuttle Twins. We'll read some US history, and we always find awesome ways to relate that to something we're doing in life. These are just the beautiful things that we get to do because we have the time together. So your mindset shift here is going to be, I can always make more money later. All right. My kids are only going to be small for a short period of time. Their childhood is worth more than a paycheck. And if you do leave a job to homeschool your kids, know that they're only going to need you around 24/7 for a few years, okay? Once they reach those older middle school, high school ages, they can do a lot of work independently, and you're gonna be freed up to leave the house or work from home and make that money that you're kind of giving up in the earlier years. But boy, are you gonna be happy you did. All right, so I hope that these mindset shifts didn't just help me homeschool, they actually helped me to live more intentionally. So I know that sounds so cliche, like, oh, live intentionally. I never understood what people meant by that before. Like, what am I supposed to be intentional about when I wake up in the morning? I have to go to work. I have to put dinner on the table. I have to get my kids in their pajamas and their teeth brushed and get them to bed so we can do it all again the next day. But living intentionally is, what do you want from your day? What is it that you want out of this day? Do you want to learn something new? Do you want to bond over a laugh with your kids or a funny moment? Do you want to teach them something new? Do you want to experience something new? Do you want to sit in silence and just think? Ponder, come up with life's big questions. These are what living intentionally is. Is today my day to bake bread and get our meal plan together for the coming week so that I can feed my family with nutritious foods that are good for them? That's living with intention. These are the things I want for my family and want for myself, and I'm going to make that happen today by doing just one little part. So I never lived with intention before, and I think we are just so ingrained that you're not supposed to, because you have to get ready for your bus. You have to wait for the bus. You have to go to the school that the bus is taking you to. You have to wait to get into your classroom, and you have to wait to get to the next class. And it's none of it is what you are intending for your life, right? You're just doing what you're told until you're 18 or 22 or 24 years old. And then you get the opportunity to pick, and you're like, I guess I'll just go do what my parents did, which for me was to become a government worker. And, and then you are living by someone else's intention for the next 30 years until retirement. And then you retire and you have no idea how to live with intention because no one ever gave you the freedom to find what interests you. Okay, that was a tangent, but I think it's so important. And I hope that final mindset shift really sinks in for you, because it does for me, and it takes reminding myself that all the time. You are here for a reason, watching this video for a reason, and I hope that something in this video touches you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful at all, please like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so that you can be aware of my upcoming content. Maybe we'll make some more independent thinkers today. All right, check out my podcast, The Homeschool How To, interviews with homeschoolers, and I will see you in the next video.